Hot 99.5 at ENC, 97.5 in Jacksonville. It is your man Danny Ocean on your radio, and I've got a special guest on the line with me today. It is former WWE superstar and current All Elite Wrestling superstar, the world's strongest man, Mark Henry.
What's going on, man? Thanks for having me.
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate you taking time out to talk to me today, man. A legend in this wrestling thing, man, so it's dope to talk to you. So I'm going to keep it brief. I know you're a busy man. I know you guys are out in Raleigh on Wednesday for AEW Dynamite, right?
Yeah, I'm excited, man. It's always a good market anytime that we're in the Carolinas or in that area, from Greenville to Greensboro to Charlotte.
Oh, yeah.
You get Raleigh, like that's wrestling country.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it is, man. I'm excited. I'm definitely pulling up. I cannot wait. This is my first live AEW show. I'm so excited to pull up and see you guys, man, for sure.
Well, don't wear a hat because you're going to lose it. This show blows your hats off, man. Like, it is the atmosphere and the crowd is something that I've never seen before. I mean, you can go all the way back to ECW's cult following, and you see that kind of reaction. People are not tailgating yet, but I can see some tailgates coming in the future.
That would be awesome. That's one thing I do notice from TV. The crowd is always insane, singing every word to every entrance theme and whatnot. So dope.
I look forward every week to that. When whenever you hear Chris Jericho's song, interesting, you don't have to play the music. Like the crowd, they just start seeing it, and it just happens organically. It's a beautiful thing.
It is. It really is. But that's going to bring me to my first question. The comparison, of course, the comparisons come along. So was it a big transition going from those WWE crowds and working at WWE to over to AEW?
Not at all.
Okay.
The crowd is the crowd. The fans are the fans. The product is the product. The names change. The companies change. But the love for professional wrestling supersedes the company name.
Very true.
It just so happens that Tony Khan and the AEW brand, we want to do well by the fans. We want to do well by the crowd. We want them to have input. We want to please them because ultimately they're the ones that are buying the tickets.
Right. And
when you go to a nice restaurant and you walk in, you don't just wait for somebody to come up and say, "Hey, here you go. This is what you get."
Mm-hmm.
You want what you want, and we try to give that.
That's for sure. That's awesome. That's awesome. Let me ask you this: so, who in the AEW locker room do you see being a main event player in the future?
Well, everybody's young,
right?
So, you go straight to the top, and you see MJF.
Mm-hmm.
He's 24 years old, and
oh wow,
Jungle Boy and Bryan Danielson is not a young guy, but he's still 10 years from being out of his prime.
Right.
And, the current champion, Adam Page is a young guy too. It's like, where is the weakness? So
true.
You see the Dante Martin and Ricky Starks of the world.
Mm-hmm.
So many guys that are under 30 years old. I don't feel like I was really in my prime as a wrestler till I was 30.
Right.
And these guys are 5 years from starting their best.
Right.
And some of them are already in. They're just good, man. And I'm glad that they're getting an opportunity. And it's not based on size, because you have guys that are not 6'5", 280 pounds. You have guys that are 6 feet tall and 200 pounds, and they're world beaters. And when you get so many guys like that, and you give the fans what they want, the end product is to have like one of the number one show on cable,
For sure.
and to have sellouts everywhere you go. That's kind of par for the course right now.
Understand that for sure. So, are you talking about wrestlers reaching their prime? So, if you can go back to prime Mark Henry, who would you want to step in the ring with from today?
Oh man, you know what? The philanthropist, the teacher, the mentor, that guy would love to get MJF in there.
MJF?
Yeah.
Okay.
But the guy that I ended up becoming and being a champion for, the monster, the assassin, the killer, I can't see a better person to take that right now other than Adam Page, the current world champion.
That's a money match right there. That's a money match.
Just too sweet, too good, too handsome. Like I'm like Wesley Snipes, and when he played Nino Brown, I can't stand pretty people.
I know that's right.
I see pretty people, and I just want to ugly them up a little bit. And Adam Page be at the top of my list of people to ugly up because he just got everything going for him, And I know I sound like a hater, but it's just the healing.
No, I feel where you're coming from. All right, we're gonna talk about some music. So, what's a go-to song that you would have to have turn on to get you hyped up for a match? I know you had that 3-6 Mafia, that theme song, so I know you like to get crunk a little bit. So, what's a go-to song you would have to get you hyped up for a match?
Man, you know what? I got to go back. And I don't know if you remember Jay-Z and Eminem had a song called Renegade.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about.
I don't know what it is about that Renegade, man. That song gets me right where I need to be. I'm punching through walls when I hear that. And, you could throw on the whole Rick Ross collection.
Oh yeah.
You could just throw anything on, man. Freemason, blowing money fast.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
The list goes on. But, I'm a Biggie guy at the end of the day.
Okay.
Like my number one all-time guy. You throw Warning in there, and I'm ready to go.
So let me ask you this right now: if I were to pick up Mark Henry's Apple Music subscription, what would I see in your playlist right now?
A lot of my playlists are essentials, or the 1971 year I was born. The collection of songs, the top 100 songs. The same thing for hip hop. The essentials. You hear the Lean Back. The Big Pun, Fat Joe stuff, like old school hip hop is where it is. Now, every now and then, one of these young guys, like that Tory Lanez, got that. He's got a song that I like. Meek Mill.
Okay, shout out my man Meek Mill.
I call it the mumble rap era, but it's the guys that I can understand are the ones I like.
No, I understand where you're coming from completely, because I'm the same way. You look at my playlist, it's old Wu-Tang and old Jay-Z and whatnot. It ain't too much of the little Uzi Verts and whatnot in it, but I still listen to it from time to time. So I feel you.
And my love it. And I'm like, Jacob, this don't sound like what I'm used to. So, and now I've turned into my mom when I hear some of that stuff. Like, man, turn that mess off.
Oh yeah.
You gotta listen to.
My stepson was listening to something the other day, and I said the same thing. I was like, "What are you listening to? What is that?" And it made me question myself. Am I an old head now? Am I an old head?
Yeah, you're an old head.
All right. So, are there any wrestlers in your opinion who make great music and deserve to be heard?
Man, I don't know if you heard Tarver. He got stuff. He calls himself Monster now. He's doing gospel rap, like Antonio Tarver.
Oh, he used to be in NXT back in the day.
Yeah, man, he made real good music, man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and there is AEW is going to come out with during Black History Month. Mm-hmm. There's a hip hop compilation.
Nice.
That's being put together right now that I think the world is going to really, really love.
Nice. I know Leo Rush does music. He sent me a few of his joints. I talk to him every now and then. He's good. I like Leo Rush's music too.
And that's also, I always like to see people in our industry cross brand and reach out and do things that was not expected of them.
Right. That's awesome. But I have to check out Tarver's music for sure. Last question. I'm gonna let you go because, like I said, I know you're a busy man. I ask everybody the same question because I'm a wrestling fan. Who's your top 5 wrestlers of all time, dead or alive?
Man, I always have to start at Andre because Andre was the biggest attraction in the history of the game. Mm-hmm. He superseded pro wrestling. He was the guy that really started moving into movies and, doing different things. Then I'd have to go with Ric Flair.
Right.
Carolina guy, one of the best that ever did it, one of the most entertaining, did more 1-hour matches than anybody in history probably. Undertaker, just being an entity, not just a wrestler, a major attraction. The Rock and Stone Cold close it out. I look at them as being almost identicals because they're not just great wrestlers and have, like a cult following, but they were so entertaining.
Oh, yeah.
And, I know there's a lot of people like, man, you left Hulk Hogan off the list. Hulk Hogan, honorable mention. He got over as good as any wrestler in history.
For sure.
But I just look at it from a modern standpoint, and it's not recency bias. Mm-hmm. It's the fact that, they made a business out of being themselves and not being a character.
Right.
So it was that's my top 5 plus 1.
That's awesome. Well, Mark, listen, I appreciate your time, man. I love what you've been doing. I love what you're currently doing in AEW. Wednesday night, if you're in the Raleigh area, pull up. Make sure you check out AEW live at the PNC Arena in Raleigh, people.
What you doing with your life if you're not out there at the PNC?
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Mark Henry will pull up to your door and beat you down. Get a world's strongest slam if you're not at this show, people.
Well, come on, guys. Go and show up.
That's right. And thank you once again to the world's strongest man, Mark Henry. Thank you to John over at All Elite Wrestling for setting up this interview for me. It is your man, Danny Ocean, on your #1 hit music station, the Hot FM.